Hey guys, I just went ahead and 100% completed Spider-Man 2. It took me about 24 hours to do so. It was about 18 hours for the main mission, doing a little bit of side stuff here and there, and then like an extra 6 or so hours to just do absolutely everything, get all the collectibles, gold medal, all of the, Mysterio challenges, all of it. So let me go ahead and give you my pros, my cons, and then my final rating of the game. The first pro, right out the gate, I'm gonna come swinging, is the swinging, just the general traversal. I honestly didn't think that there was too much shit that they could add to the traversal from Miles Morales. Miles Morales already added like the ability to utilize your powers in swinging. And I was like, surely this is where it caps out, right? There's not much more that they can add. Boy, was I wrong. They've added not only more things for your swinging, but also a whole new mechanic with the web wings. And at first I thought this was going to be just a gimmick. I was like, why would I ever want to use a little flying squirrel suit when I could swing around and, do all the cool tricks and stuff like that? But it is just way faster. Like, the traversal is way faster with the web wings when you actually get used to them and you're properly utilizing them than swinging is at all. And it's probably 2, if not 3 times as fast. It is way faster to traverse. And they'll have these like wind tunnels, like areas in between buildings or like through a subway system where there's just a bit of a heavy breeze. And when you're just coasting through those, you are zooming, dude, just straight up fucking flying. So I actually really ended up enjoying the web wings, and they also add some cool things. They add to like the actual swinging. So they add the ability to go into a dive and then do a full 360 swing to build up a crazy amount of speed, which you'll probably see in this gameplay. They add the ability to like do a snap swing around the corners of buildings so it builds up speed. So they actually do add quite a bit. They add the fucking Spider-Man movie thing where you like and then you like you fucking go zooming and you go into the squirrel suit after that and you're just cruising, dude. You're flying. So I really enjoy the traversal. It's made even better in this game than the last one, which honestly I didn't think that you could do. I do feel like it's probably very overwhelming now though as a result, because they not only have all the stuff from Spider-Man 1, 2018, but they have the stuff from Miles Morales, and then they also have all the new shit. So I think if you're like new coming into Spider-Man 2, it actually may be a bit too much for you, because they don't spend a terribly long time explaining all of the things like point launching and diving and building momentum and stuff like that. They don't spend a ton of time explaining those mechanics that were already in the previous games. It's almost like they kind of just assume you played the previous games. So for somebody that did, and 100% all the previous ones, I don't really have that issue. But I can imagine if you're trying to get into it and it's like your first one, it's a lot to take in. I also think the main story is fantastic, especially one mission. There is one mission in the game, and anybody that has played it will know exactly what one mission I'm talking about. It is one mission that is very different from any of the other missions, and that made me want a completely separate game. Like, I played that mission, I was like, holy fuck, this is by far the best mission in any of the Spider-Man games. Like, any of the 3, it is the best mission by far. It's not even close. It is so fucking good. And it just made me want a completely separate game. I can't talk about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but holy fuck is that mission good. I'm so sad they don't have like a mission replay, because I would replay the shit out of that mission. But just overall, I think the main quest is really good. Kraven is a fantastic baddie. Everything with the Venom symbiote, I don't want to go into it, but is really good. And all of the changes that they made, they already said, they came out and they said it's not Eddie Brock Venom, it's going to be a completely different thing. And it is, and I think it's done really, really well. I can't talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's all done very well. And I think the pacing is actually better than the pacing of 2018 Spider-Man, but I do still like the 2018 Spider-Man story more. I think this one is really good, especially with Miles. I was pleasantly surprised with the arc that Miles' story, like everybody basically has an arc in this game. Peter has his arc, even Mary Jane has his arc. Their dynamic is actually really compelling, especially, if you've dated people, you can kind of understand a lot of the points that they touch on. And it actually got me a little bit emotional. I'm not gonna lie, I related a little too heavily with a couple of the things that occur with Mary Jane and Peter. But I also really liked Miles. Miles has a story with a certain character that I did not expect to return, and I liked everything that they did with that character and everything that they did with Miles interacting with that character. I thought it was all really, really well done, and a pleasant surprise to me. I did not expect them to do what they did, and I really liked it. So main story, bangers throughout, especially that one mission. Holy hell, that one mission. I cannot toot its horn enough. Toot toot, motherfucker. That mission is so good, dude. But I also think the combat is quite good in the game. They have opted for something a little interesting, which is now you do not have multiple web slingers, like web shots, whatever you want to call it. You just have the standard one. But you have 4 gadgets that you can utilize and you can upgrade. And then you also have your 4 abilities, and you can swap those abilities in and out. Some of the abilities will be better against certain enemies versus other abilities will be better against other enemies. So you can kind of just swap those around. And overall, I thought it was quite good. I do miss a lot of the web slingers, though. I miss having that control and being able to swap in between them. And really, I just miss the impact webs. The impact webs are so fucking fun, man. I love just gooing up a dude with a big old clump and then them just flying 20 feet, into a wall or into other dudes. I just found that so fun. And they don't have it, unfortunately. Instead, they've opted for, this 4 gadget system. And I do think that was a mistake. I think you could have had the 4 gadgets and also had the web slingers, but I think they were just kind of afraid of putting too much into the game. But they also add a parry mechanic, which I know, very original. I feel like everybody is tired of parries but me. I find parries to be a far more engaging system than just dodges. I would take a Sekiro system over a Dark Souls system every day of the week. And in this, they incorporate it pretty well into boss fights where there will be some attacks you have to dodge, some you have to parry, and then most of the attacks, you can choose either way. But I think the parry is done well. It's nothing crazy here. It's a fucking parry, Overall, I think the combat is good, but I really do miss the wide variety of web shooters from 2018. I think there was kind of a bag fumbled from taking those out. Also, the voice acting, the music, all of the sound in the game, very well done. Goes without saying, honestly, but I'm still gonna say it. Really, really well done. And the graphics. I've seen some people say this is like the best looking game ever. I disagree. It still has that uncanny valley look where it has a lot of like the visuals are very good and they're really clean, but the faces just kind of have that like little bit of a cartoony look. It's not super realistic like a Last of Us 2 or something. And the environments don't look as good as like a Plague Tale Requiem or something like that. But overall, I think the game just has a very clean presentation and it looks quite good. But let's get into the cons. First things first, like with probably the title and the thumbnail, this is Sony's glitchiest game that they've released since, I would say, Days Gone. It's not quite as glitchy as Days Gone on launch, but it's pretty fucking glitchy. I mean, you can see here, this was a bug that I got, where I was just a cube. I was just a fucking cube. And no, this isn't some Resident Evil 2, Mr. Tofu type of secret skin. This is just a glitch that happens, and it's unfortunate because this made it so I could not use my favorite suit in the game. Like, I unlocked a suit at level 60, and it was super cool, and couldn't even use it because I was just a fucking cube. So that was a little bit of a bummer. I mean, it's funny, for sure, but it's not feasible to really play the game like this, to be honest, and a little bit of a bummer. But not all the glitches are fun, like this one. I had several crashes, especially during one of the boss fights. My PS5 kept fucking crashing. It crashed like a million times, dude, and it was really, really annoying, to be honest. But eventually I got through, but it just kept fucking crashing. I have no idea why, but that boss fight in particular was just crashing left and right for me. And I also had this bug that's very common where you're playing one of the main missions and you unlock a new ability and the UI pops up, says, okay, press this button to do the new ability, and it will not do it. And you cannot progress. It is a progress impeding bug. And what you have to do, luckily other people found out online, you have to replay the mission and then just spam the input to do that new move before the UI pops up. If the UI pops up, then your game is just locked. You cannot progress. So there's some serious fucking bugs, and these were not fixed, several days after launch, like a week after launch or whatever it's been. These are still not fixed. This is the type of shit that is gonna like make people quit your game. It's really, really bad. So they need to fix this shit ASAP. I cannot believe this wasn't fixed in a day one patch because it's a very noticeable issue. And there's also stuff like this, where these dudes are just sitting, chatting while you're beating the shit out of these guys that are shooting guns and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily a glitch. Or here, where I'm trying to press L1 and R1 to throw the obvious bomb, and it's grabbing all these barrels and stuff. It just has a general lack of polish that you don't really see in Sony games. Most of the time, Spider-Man 2018, God of War, insert Sony game here, they're pretty fucking polished, but this is definitely their glitchiest title in quite a long time. I don't remember a title as glitchy as this one. I also think that the length is going to be a con for a lot of people. The fact that you can do literally every single thing in the game in less than 24 hours. I've seen people 100% the game in 21 hours. And that's everything, dude. I'm talking platinum trophy. I'm talking everything, 100% completion. So, I think that might be a problem for a lot of people. For me, horror games are my favorite genre of game. So that's never going to be something that really bugs me personally, because I don't really subscribe to the whole, I need a dollar for every, or an hour for every dollar I spend. I don't subscribe to that theory, because if I did, well, we would just never get big budget fucking horror games, because those are $60, $70 titles and they're usually like 8 hours long. So I don't really subscribe to that, but I know a lot of people do. So if you are one of those people, I think you're probably going to be pretty fucking disappointed, to be honest with you. It's pretty short for, what it is. And I think this is where console really shines, though, because, I have the physical media PS5. I just bought the game for $70. I beat the game. I 100% it. And then I listed it on eBay, and it's looking like it's going to sell for like $65. So I'm going to be out $5, maybe $10 for playing the whole game. So this is where, physical media really does shine. And if you're a digital-only gamer, kind of an L, not going to lie. You're kind of taking an L, but you took the L when you decided to buy the digital-only system. But yeah, I think overall, the game is quite good. But I do still prefer Spider-Man 2018. I like the narrative a bit more that they told. I liked the combat a bit more. The traversal is better in this game, most definitely. But I don't know. I feel like 2018 was just a little bit better for me personally. Now, I'll admit it could most definitely just be because, you know, 2018 was such a pleasant surprise. It kind of came out of nowhere and it was such a fucking banger and all of the mechanics and stuff were brand new that I may feel that way. But I do still prefer that game. And I gave that game an 8 out of 10. So for me, this is probably sitting at like a 7 out of 10. For me, 5 is average, 6 is above average, and 7 is good. I think it's a good game. I think it's probably on the level of Miles Morales, and really, it's kind of a head scratcher for me that this is actually like a full release. I don't know, with how long it is and with how little they've added. I mean, to be fair, there is like twice the amount of map because you can actually, I mean, as you can see here, you can actually go over the bridge, you know, you can cross over. But how does that really impact your gameplay? Like, that's how I look at it, is I look at it from a very practical sense. Okay, map bigger. It still somehow has less content in terms of amount of hours. It took me like 28 hours to 100% Spider-Man 2018. So it somehow has, even though it has twice the map, it somehow has less content than Spider-Man 2018. So does it really matter at that point that there's more map? I don't know. That's not really a selling point to me, map bigger. But, you know, that mixed with the really lackluster side activities, really the flame side quest is the only good side quest in the game. I don't fucking care about taking pictures from Miles's yearbook. I don't really care about rescuing his school's mascot, you know? I found most of the side quests to be pretty lackluster other than the flame ones, and the only reason the flame ones is good is because it has a nice tie-in to 2018 and it sets up a very interesting concept for a possible DLC. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me. Solid 7 out of 10, but it's definitely Sony's glitchiest game that we've seen in quite a while, since Days Gone, I would say. But thanks for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. See all of you in the next video. We're Streamer Rooney. Bye bye.